It's easy to trim edges.
Hello, and welcome to the Lonesome Fog, a game that I know next to nothing about, but Amity said I should play it. And so,
I'm also here.
we're gonna do some, I thought we'd do some one-offs this month. One-offs, because it's friendship. Friendship. Okay, so, the Lonesome Fog. It's like a storybook, so I click to the next page, I guess. Basically, all you told me was it's kind of like a storybook, so I'm...
Yeah, so did you ever play the living books in like kindergarten?
I think not a lot, but I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of like that. I think there's slightly less goofy things to click on, but I think there are still things you can click on.
That's fair. I was more of a putt and read a rabbit kind of girl than living books. But I know the premise. In a cluster of woods not far away from you and me, something extraordinary happened. I can look around more than I realized. Okay, but it still sets itself back. That's fair. Some kittens, cubs, unspecified cubs. In an open field beside a meadow of warm flowers, sibling cubs played a game of Tag the Big Bad Wolf. They might be wolf cubs. They could be wolf cubs. This one looks sad. These fish look interesting. I'm not seeing any silly things to click.
It may just be like it's been a while since.
That's fair. Oh, I can look around. That's true. I can see. This fish looks extremely pleased about what's going on. These two both look like they're halfway dead. This fish is going, huh? Huh? I wish that y'all could see the face that I'm trying to make, but also, no, I'm not putting face on the internet yet. The reflection says, it was a game that didn't sit well with the eldest sibling. You see, she didn't like wolves because she was terrified of them. To be honest, she was terrified of just about everything. This goose duck, this quacker looks very displeased that the puppy kitten, that this pup is following her. And this baby looks like he's in timeout. So the reflection goes for some reason. Your tongue's not going blue.
I think it's supposed to show that reflections are also scary.
That's okay. So they are like bobcats or lynxes. That's what I thought. What if the wolf ate me? And the bear? Imagine if I slipped and fell into the river, she worryingly wailed to her mother at times. Don't be afraid of the dangers of the world, dear, Mother Lowe usually calmly responded. Otherwise the lonesome fog could get you. It comes for all with fear in their hearts. Okay, so yeah, like bobcats. That's the vibes I was getting from the kittens, but I wasn't sure for sure. But yeah, they're not puppies, they're kittens, they're bobcats. I mean, they're cubs, but that's bobcat tails. I don't know why I'm rambling so much. I like kitty cats. They say meow. Yeah, right on cue, Miss Tally Bell. I hope that was audible in the video. Oh, that seems bad. That only made her fear worse as thoughts of everything she was afraid of began to consume her. Wolves, bears, birds, and most of all, the lonesome fog. There, why, okay.
Hmm?
Nothing, there was a noise, but I realized that it was me mousing over the arrow to continue, not something I was clicking on. One day, she caught sight of something rolling down a distant mountain. It was the lonesome fog. It had to be. Large and all-consuming, it rolled over the nearby hill and onto her path. Uh-oh. But our kitten, she don't like that. She turned around and sprang as quickly as her little legs could take her. However, she couldn't outrun the darkness, which inched ever closer until it was upon her. Dazed and confused, she shrieked, closed her eyes, and blindly ran till she could run no further. Uh-oh, but she's just a little kitty. Only blackness and an eerie silence shrouded her. After a short moment, she put a paw forward and felt the familiar feel of grass beneath her feet. Familiar was good. Slowly she opened her eyes and was greeted by a landscape she'd never seen before. I am probably the most lonesome and scared animal in the world right now, she thought. Oh, baby. She looks so sad. There you go. Oh, I forgot I could look around some. Looking around just makes her more forlorn, though. She's so alone. She perched herself atop a small rock. It was cold and damp from the fog. Am I ever going to see my family again? She wondered aloud. Of course you will, answered a voice with no face. From where? There's nobody. Unless this dead tree is talking to her.
From this perspective.
Oh, a puppy. Are you the lonesome fog? Asked the terrified cub as her eyes darted around to find the source of the voice. I most certainly am not, responded the voice. I am simply a worried and scared mother who is lost in this fog just like you. Can mothers be scared too? Wondered the little cub aloud, and with a sense of relief that she was no longer alone. But it's a wolfy pup, so she doesn't know that. Apparently so, responded the voice, as she began to explain the reason for her fear. She spent most days scared something bad would happen to her little pups. The motherly voice sounded weak, and the little cub thought it reminded her of a bat or something less scary. They spoke for what felt like a long time. Sometimes they laughed even though they were scared. Most of all, they were happy to find someone who understood what it felt like to be little and scared. I jump. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept in and began to break up the surrounding dim, whilst welcoming the warmth of the sun. Look, it's clearing, cheered the little cub. She jumped down from the little rock and excitedly turned round to gaze upon the face of the voice that had kept her company. A large and statuesque-looking wolf towered over her. Without fear, the cub stared at the wolf mother, who stared right back. Without uttering a word to each other, they turned around and began walking their separate ways, both more than a little relieved by their chat. Hmm. Friend. I just like looking around sometimes because it's really pretty.
I do really like the art style.
It almost reminds me of like, do you remember Eric Carle? Like the Very Hungry Caterpillar in them? It's not quite the same, but I think the like almost watercolor effect on most of the surfaces is what's giving me that vibe.
Texture,
Yeah. As she made it into her clearing, she caught sight of her family. Delighted and filled with joy, she ran towards them. They played and talked all day. However, she pledged to keep her experiences close to her heart. No one had to know. Okay. That's fair. Over time, the lonesome fog would return, and when it did, the cub didn't run away. Instead, she confidently strode towards and within it before returning to her family. Each time this happened, her belief in her ability to face anything grew. In time, little would hold any fear for her. What a smart baby. The end. Nice. But there's more. Or at least there's credits and cute little music. Sorry that you didn't get to have much to say in this. I was mostly just reading a cute little book. But
that is kind of what I thought would happen, so.
That's fair. Thank you for suggesting this. It was fun. And I hope you enjoyed it too, YouTube audience. Oh, the music got loud. Anyway, I guess this is the end of this episode. Bye bye.